Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Man, yeah, that was fun flying today. Apparently, I piss somebody off every time I post a video of flight sim, so I'm gonna have to post a lot more. Um, I don't know what the deal is. I don't get much hate, to be real honest, as far as the dislike part goes. Don't get much hate at all that way. But almost every time that I post a video of doing flight sim, somebody's panties get in a twist, and I don't know why. I'd love to know why. I don't know if it's somebody from my past that knows me personally that can't stand that I'm still doing it, or if it's somebody from the news that doesn't think I should enjoy myself. But anyway, either way, no fucks given. Man, yeah, things are definitely looking interesting as far as China is concerned, and this trip that Pelosi intends to make. I don't 100% understand why it's so important that she goes and makes this trip. I mean, we all see that Joe Biden is trying to flush this country down the toilet. We all know that. We all get that. I mean, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how blatant, how open, and how idiotic their moves are. And, I don't understand this non-stop poking. Now, I'm sure you probably heard a few different channels talking about some exercises that are planned to go on down near Venezuela. And they involve, many countries, but namely Russia, China, and Iran, along with different militaries down there in the area. And, I look at that, and while I don't think it's a reason to start running around our house screaming and flailing our arms in the air, I think it's something to pay attention to. The idea of a drill isn't that concerning. What's concerning is that they're having this drill at a particular time when we're really poking hard. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, yesterday I'd reported on, I think I brought that report up about how the coming weeks would be critical for the situation in Ukraine. I think that has an underlying tone into that, meaning there's probably going to be a flare-up within the next couple of weeks. I don't know which way or what. I know Russia has been destroying HIMARS rockets, and of course, they've destroyed some of the rocket launchers. And at the same time, I think it's pretty evident that Ukraine plans on attacking Russian territory with those systems. So, and that was something that you may or may not recall they weren't supposed to be doing. Oh, wow. You, tired, huh? Must have been working hard, huh? I just think we better watch things closely, because they could slip. I don't know what their plans are, meaning they, those, them. I have no idea what their plans are, and I can't even begin to guess. But I do know that no matter what, they're wanting to run this country, and very likely many, many others, straight into the ground. And they are doing one hell of a job of it thus far. I do have some tabs open that I was going to discuss, but then I decided, hell with it. No, I'm kidding. I'll discuss them. Get it in the right spot. Starting off with this situation with Pelosi and visiting China, there was an article that came out on RT, and then not real super long later, another article come out, both dealing with the same subject. And like I say, this is something to watch, something to definitely pay attention to, as well as the exercises that are going down south. Very important to keep eyes on this. I wouldn't be freaking out on any of it at this point. Here's the thing. Nobody knows anything. And that's just the truth. Nobody knows anything. And this situation could explode in the blink of an eye, or it could just be this slow roll right into the ground like this nation has been doing for the last 3 years now, or going on. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go fast. I don't know if it's going to go slow. Just make sure you're ready to deal with it either way. That's why I try to make sure of that very thing, that no matter what, that I can start to deploy things pretty much instantly. If our power would just chink out right now, it wouldn't take me 5 minutes, and I would have anything necessary, or, well, yeah, we'll say that. Anything necessary, I don't want to say what all, but anything necessary within 5 minutes will all be back up and going, including the fridge. So, well, that might run into closer to 10 minutes, because that's not going to be my primary thing. But nonetheless, I would highly encourage people to be on a readiness level, like as much like that as possible. And again, it's not fear-mongering. I'm not doing like one channel recommended even months and months, probably a year or more ago, more or less recommended people start wearing their armor around just to go to the store. Oh, goodness. That was probably a year and a half ago. No, definitely not. Now, if you've got armor, might not be a bad idea to put it in the trunk of your vehicle, or wherever you may have a truck or what have you. But I probably not a bad idea to keep armor in your vehicle if you've got it. I mean, I'm not telling people to go rush out, that you need to go rush out and buy body armor right now. Absolutely not. But if you've got it, or if you already intended on getting it and you get some, yeah, I would make sure when you go somewhere you have it with you. I wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't wear it unless there is a situation that, common sense would dictate you might want to have it on. But, I would have it, because you never know. You could be going to the store, and you may just be stepping out of your vehicle when you hear the rounds go off. It's awful easy right then and there just to throw it on. A little bit of added protection. It's not, well, actually a lot of bit added protection, but nonetheless, you'll at least have it. Interesting video today from Iraq veteran 8888. He put out a video this morning that had Barry in it. Barry he was part of the channel a long time ago. He is no longer with us. Incredible individual. And there was, they had an episode like some 10 years ago or something. I mean, it's a long time ago. On food court guns. That's what they called it, was food court guns. And, they more or less posed the question of which firearms would make good defense choices if you were somewhere like a mall food court. And he actually took an excerpt of that video from way back when and put it in a video today. It was pretty cool. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad idea. Having armor for your child's backpack. I was scrolling Facebook earlier, and I saw a company was selling, regular armor, of course, and they also had a bag, like just a woman's handbag. And I'm not saying like a small. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing. A tote bag. It was big, right? And it was made. I guess it was made with the that soft armor material or what have you. And I I'm assuming that the intent of that bag is if you come across an active shooter situation, that you can kind of duck in behind that bag. And I'm assuming that, I'm guessing. But it looked pretty cool. Definitely the backpacks are not a bad idea for children. I don't think it's something that a lot of people necessarily need to go run out and buy or anything like that. Now, if you live in Chicago or something like that, I couldn't think of walking around with anything less than a vault around me. But, I think I would, if I had to go to the local Walmarts up in Chicago, I think I would take the Brinks truck, you know what I mean? But I don't live in Chicago, nor would I live in Chicago. No, thank you. This town is getting bigger than what I like, and it's not big. I mean, but yeah, I remember a day when this town was quite a bit smaller, in many ways. So not just population, but mindset and all of that. So, and yeah, that was cool. Those days were really, really cool. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Like I said, I got these tabs open. I'll run through them. We'll do some headlines and we'll get the heck out of here. After I have a sip of coffee and a vape. I'll pencil that crap right into the contract right now. Oh, man. Alright. Gentlemen, start your engines. Oh, just kidding. Pelosi's flight to Taiwan may provoke Chinese warplane escort, says media. And I'm just here saying, please? I mean, is there any way that we could add some people to the flight? Possibly. Can Hillary go? Hillary would be a good choice to go as a co-chair for this event. So Pelosi and Hillary, and I'm sure that we could fill up a Boeing 747. So, yeah, let's just take a group flight over there. How's that sound? Pelosi, Hillary, no need for Biden. Anyway, we're going to have that whole plane full real quick. Anyway, as this says, China may use warplanes and missile drills in order to prevent Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi from visiting Taiwan, multiple reports have said. The California Democrat has neither confirmed nor denied plans to go to the island next month after media reports Beijing could declare a no-fly zone or restrict navigation by conducting military exercises near the Taiwan Strait, forcing Pelosi's aircraft to make a detour, the South China Morning Post reported on Wednesday, citing military experts. CNN similarly quoted a White House official on Friday as voicing concern that China may announce a no-fly zone in an attempt to derail Pelosi's possible trip. The New York Times quoted U.S. officials on Monday as saying that China could send warplanes to escort Pelosi's aircraft and prevent it from landing. Pelosi would, and it almost sounds kind of like they're inviting it, doesn't it? Pelosi would be the first sitting U.S. House of Representatives Speaker to visit the island since 1997. China claims Taiwan, which has been ruled by separate government since the late 1940s, as its territory and opposes any forms of diplomatic recognition of the Taipei authorities. Last week, Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said that it would have a grave impact on Chinese-American ties, violating the One China policy and existing agreements between Washington and Beijing. So, China has been making their stance very clear, and have been, since this very first came out. And even before, because there was another trip that she was going to go that she didn't. U.S. prepares military plan for Pelosi Taiwan visit. So, it seems like they're pushing forward. Again, I don't know if they've since confirmed or not, but they're clearly talking about how they're going to respond or could respond. The Pentagon could send additional ships, aircraft, and surveillance systems to protect U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi if she proceeds with her plan to visit Taiwan, AP reported on Wednesday, citing unnamed U.S. officials. A contingency plan, which is being developed by the American military, involves creating overlapping rings of protection for the Speaker during her flight to the island and her stay there, the news agency said. The officials also spoke of the need to create buffer zones around Pelosi and her plane during the visit, ready for any potential incidents relating to China, AP reported. Beijing, which considers the self-governed island a part of its territory, has repeatedly warned that Pelosi's visit to Taiwan might trigger a serious reaction and have unbearable consequences for relations between China and the U.S. And I'm sure I'm looking to see if there's more stuff in here. The officials told AP that the U.S. would need to have rescue capabilities on the ground during the visit, adding that some helicopters and ships could be sent to the area for that purpose. They also said the prospect of an intercept or show of force by the Chinese military would make it necessary for American aircraft to be present in the area during the trip. Milley did not comment on what exact measures could be taken to ensure Pelosi's safety, but said the Pentagon will do what is necessary to ensure a safe conduct of their visit if Pelosi does travel to Taiwan. According to the AP, the U.S. already has enough forces spread around the Pacific region, and the Pentagon might eventually use them for additional protection during the trip. The news agency specifically named the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and its strike group, which made a port call in Singapore over the weekend. Among such forces, the group includes the aircraft carrier itself, 2 other Navy ships, and Carrier Air Wing 5, consisting of FA-18 fighters, helicopters, and surveillance aircraft. The USS Benpol, the destroyer that passed through the Taiwan Strait last week, was named as well. Let's see. And the rest is stuff we already covered, going into the history of it. But anyway, again, I think they're poking awful hard. Now, shifting to another area of conflict. Strike destroys over 100 U.S.-made HIMARS rockets, says Russia. Russian forces have targeted an ammunition depot in Ukraine's, Dnipropetrovsk region. Nah, no way, man. No way. That region, destroying over 100 U.S.-made HIMARS rockets, according to an update from Russia's defense ministry on Wednesday. On July 24th, a strike by Russia's aerospace forces on an ammunition depot near the settlement of another one, really? There we go. Oh, and then they said the other one right after that. Yeah, thank you, RT. I'm not Russian. Destroyed more than 100 missiles for the U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system. The ministry's report reads. It also noted that up to 120 Ukrainian military personnel guarding the facility, as well as foreign mercenaries and technical specialists, were killed. The update follows a Russian Defense Ministry report on Monday claiming that Moscow had targeted and destroyed U.S.-supplied weapons, including heavy artillery in western Ukraine, using sea-based high-precision long-range weapons. The U.S., which is Kiev's biggest backer in the conflict with Moscow, had supplied Ukraine with 16 HIMARS systems as of July 22nd, while the UK has provided another 3 launchers capable of firing the same munitions. However, last week, the Russian military claimed to have destroyed 4 of these rocket launchers. Kiev officials have refuted these claims as misinformation. So, it's crazy. Crazy. Let's see. Russia's defense ministry also reported on Wednesday that its forces had carried out strikes on Ukrainian military personnel and equipment in 142 districts, destroying a number of howitzers and artillery platoons, according to the ministry. Ukraine has so far lost over 760 multiple launch rocket systems and more than 3,200 artillery pieces since the beginning of hostilities in February. So, I don't think things are going as well for Ukraine as the U.S. media tries to play it. And I also don't think that Russia is really putting force behind their actions. I mean, what I'm getting at is they're not using their full might. If they even remotely use their full might, and I'm not talking about nuclear capability, they've got a lot more than that. Man, the entire planet would have something to say. You know, I mean, if they just walked in and just stomped them down, I mean, come on, look at it. It's like the high school kid and the kindergartner, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But, you know, what blows my mind even more, and I don't have this article up, I'm glad I remembered it. I guess Vogue did some kind of feature with Zelensky, and I'm assuming maybe that's his wife with him or whatever. They did this big, like, photo shoot. Who in the hell is the president of a nation in conflict goes and does a Vogue photo shoot? That just makes no sense at all. And I know what they're trying to do. I understand their logic behind what they're doing. They're trying to create a positive image around Zelensky. They're trying to garner more support for Ukraine. And I'm just stuck on that whole fact that much of Ukraine is Nazi. I mean, I've kind of got issue with that. A little bit. So, there is that. But no, he's on Vogue. He must be a good guy. He's going to be on Homes and Gardens next week. He'll be planting radishes. Radiantly planting radishes. I can see the article now. What? Well, give him a couple more weeks for Cosmopolitan. I mean, he'll be there. This, I think, is a much larger reason for all this conflict than anybody really gives it credit for. U.S. becomes global leader in LNG. Imagine that. Imagine that. Not only are we the global leader now, but we're the global leader at your expense. I hope you're happy. Not really, but this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Our prices are going through the roof. And all these folks are interested in or worried about is being the global leader in LNG. Blows my mind. United States became the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas in the first half of 2022, the U.S. Energy Information Administration reported on Monday. Exports rose by 12% in the first 6 months of 2022, compared with the second half of 2021, the EIA said, citing data from Citigas, the International Association for Natural Gas. This helped the United States to beat Australia and Qatar, the other two leading LNG exporters. Outlining reasons for the increase, the EIA cited soaring natural gas and LNG prices as well as rising global demand, particularly in Europe. Since the end of last year, countries on the continent have increased their LNG imports to compensate for lower pipeline supplies from Russia and to fill natural gas storage inventories that are at historically low levels, the EIA explained. The EU and the UK ramped up their LNG imports by 63% in the first half of this year, and just over 70% of American-produced LNG went into the EU and Britain, the agency added. Russia's energy ministry said in May that American liquefied natural gas is at least 30 to 40% more expensive than Russian pipeline gas. Well, yeah, it's got to be shipped over there. It's crazy. And I have a hard time believing that, this natural gas thing is the big conflict. This is something that the United States has been trying to do for a very, very long time. Take over the energy markets. But who knows? Germans are warned of a toilet paper shortage. Now, I'm sorry for any of you that might have PTSD from our toilet paper shortage, but we have to discuss this. Germany may face shortages of such staples as toilet paper and cardboard if Russian gas supplies dwindles in the coming months, German outlet Zeit Online reported on Wednesday. Operating paper plants may become unprofitable if they are forced to produce at reduced capacity because of gas shortages, the publication cites Jürgen Schaller, chairman of the board of Bavarian Paper Association's ad warning. Producing paper requires a lot of water, electricity, and gas, Schaller explained, adding that the technology is tried and tested and cannot be changed quickly. Many employees in my company are already very worried. I can't blame them, because if we can only produce 50 or 60%, the operation is not worthwhile for us. To be honest, I worry too, Schaller told Zeit Online. Germany and the EU as a whole have recently seen a reduction in natural gas supplies from Russia, which led to numerous warnings of possible industrial shutdowns. Nord Stream 1 pipeline is currently operating at 20% capacity due to technical issues with turbines at the Portovaya compressor station. Gazprom is unable to use another transit route via Ukraine to full capacity because, according to the Russian energy giant, Ukraine's gas transport network has been rejecting its transit applications. So, who knows what is going on over there? There's a lot of games going on over there, I can tell you that. Oh, you thought that me telling you about this schmuck being in vogue was the worst I had to talk about? When it comes to him, that is? No. Now, we are getting lectured on inflation and COVID from the president of Ukraine. Yeah. He's gonna inflate-splain us. He's gonna inflate-splain us. Or COVID-splain us. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, schmuck, has told British broadcaster Piers Morgan, or Piss Morgan, I don't care, the inflation and coronavirus are nothing compared to Ukraine's struggle, and Americans should support aid for Kiev until we win. Don't you like that? Vogue. As the U.S. grapples with a 40-year high inflation rate and record gas prices, multiple polls name these economic concerns as more pressing among Americans than the conflict in Ukraine. Furthermore, nearly 5 times as many people in the U.S. blame President Joe Biden's policies for their misfortune as Russian President Vladimir Putin, regardless of the Biden administration's efforts to brand the soaring cost of living as Putin's price hike. Now remember this about, remember that, what he says about not being liked, okay, because that's the next, well, let's just go there. We don't need to hear about the schmuck. Let's hear about another schmuck. 75% of Democrats want Biden out in 2024. Holy cow. Some 75% of Democrats and Democrat-leaning voters want someone other than President Joe Biden to represent the party in 2024, a new CNN poll found. Hammered over his handling of the U.S. economy, Biden's approval ratings have dipped below 30%, Published on Tuesday, the survey found that just 25% of Democrats and likely Democrat voters want Biden to run again, down from 45% in February. 24% want him to duck out of the race as they think he can't win, while 32% don't want him back in office. Enthusiasm for Biden is lowest among young Democrats, with just 18% of those under 45 preferring the 79-year-old as their party's 2024 nominee. The poll's results are not isolated. A separate survey from the University of New Hampshire on Wednesday showed just 31% of Democrats in the Granite State want Biden to run in 2024, with 59% opposing a 2024 run by the incumbent president. Earlier this month, a Yahoo News YouGov poll revealed that just 18% of Americans of all affiliations support a 2024 Biden campaign, with 64% opposing. I don't think they want you there, man. Go to bed, Joe. Go to bed. Have your ice cream and then go to bed. Don't eat the paper on the ice cream. You throw that away. God, I gotta tell him every time. Anyway, probable case of monkeypox found in St. Louis County. You know, we figured the problem out. Why are we still doing these news reports? We know what the problem is. We know where the problem is. Y'all can't just leave each other alone long enough for this stuff to go away? I mean, really? You have to make Bible prophecy come true? Boils on your skin? Wow. Amazing how accurate that book is. A probable monkeypox case has been discovered in St. Louis County. The St. Louis County Department of Public Health and the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services confirmed Wednesday that a man who lives there is believed to have the virus. The patient first went to a local clinic where a specimen was collected and sent for sampling. Testing was completed Saturday. Based on the results, health officials consider the probable monkeypox infection. The disease was transmitted during sex with a person who later tested positive for monkeypox, according to the health department. Health officials are working to identify individuals who may have had contact with the man while he was infectious. There's like a lot of them? Okay. The health department said anyone who had close contact with the patient who also meets the criteria for vaccine will be offered the monkeypox vaccine. The man has been isolating at home in good condition. He has not required hospitalization. However, the man has ordered another box of tissues and more Jergens. Oh, no, that's not in the report. I don't know where the hell that came from. Quit putting stuff like that on my desk. God. Horrible. Mean jokes. Anyway. What are you going to do? I mean, we know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if there was a severe monkeypox outbreak that was just among everyone, heterosexuals alike, and I wasn't like with somebody, I was a free agent, so to speak, I think I would refrain for a bit. Let things subside a little bit. I don't get why among this particular population they don't have the self-discipline, the common sense. They don't have morality to begin with. They don't have that to begin with, and maybe that is where the problem lies. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you can't say they don't have morality. I didn't. The good book did. Take it up with God. U.S. wants accountability for death of Palestinian journalist. A Baltic state wants U.S. rocket system, says the media. Did your computer die? Oh. U.S. becomes global leader in LNG. Western energy firms... Oh, I actually read that one. Western energy firms to exit Russian oil project. Boris Johnson tipped for NATO jobs, says reports. Pentagon approves plan for injured Ukrainian soldiers, says the media. RT witnesses Wagner Group fighting in Donbass. Ukraine strikes key bridge with U.S.-made HIMARS missiles, says local authorities. Russia reduces gas flow to EU via vital pipeline. EU gas prices highest since March. Ukrainian energy giant defaults on debt. A price tag for fighting monkeypox in U.S. is revealed, says the media. Isn't that handy? U.S. fears for EU unity amid gas cuts, says CNN. U.S. has been brought to its knees, says Trump. Major elevator maker quits Russia. China responds to proposed Russian oil sanctions. A timeline set for Ukraine grain exports to resume, says Moscow. Kremlin warns West after RT France ban is upheld. Flaws in EU gas rationing plan revealed. UK Army will grow, says Defense Secretary. EU top diplomat not happy about Lavrov's popularity. Turkey demands that NATO hopeful delivers on terrorist commitments. Another cause of dementia exposed by research. A Russian gamer denied U.S. visa after Z symbol scandal. Let's see. Time frame for Russian oil price cap is revealed. Russia and Turkey to discuss military technical cooperation, says Kremlin. Surrogate mother sentenced for the first time in Russia. Ukraine to seek war crime charges against Western banks. Kiev blacklist Indians over Russian propaganda. Biden tests negative for COVID. I know you've all been on the edge of your seats and you've been waiting. It's all good. Kosovo set on EU membership application. Griner testifies in Russian drugs trial. Oh, that's another thing. Did I don't think I put that out. Pentagon prepares for contingency near Taiwan, says media. I put out the report, but I didn't put it up to talk about it. I forgot to talk about it. Ukraine seeks to engineer nuclear disaster, says Russia. Germany approves $1.7 billion arms deal for Kiev, says media. Biden, this is it here, Biden offers prisoner swap to Russia, says media. We've got to discuss this. So apparently, Griner's that basketball player that got caught with drugs in Russia. And so there's somebody else, and I'm not quite sure, and I know the article that I read earlier. Okay, convicted spy Paul Whelan, so I guess he was convicted spying. And then this Brittany Griner. And apparently the United States is willing to offer a cat by the name of... Hang on. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Victor Bout for the two Americans. Now, he was a Russian arms dealer. He was even known as the Merchant of Death. That was his nickname, the Merchant of Death. And so the United States wants to trade this Wayland character, which the name rings a little bit of a bell, but not much. I know I've heard the name in relation to this stuff, but I can't pull it up in my head. And then this thing. And they want to trade the Merchant of Death for Wayland, which might be a good, trade. I don't know, but really? So this looks like accident waiting to happen. Because do you think that... Will you get out of here, you naked HD thing? Bye. I just happened to look up and notice that. I just think this is insane. Insane. I mean, are we gonna see this guy again? One way or another? That's what my concern is. Let's see. Former Russian president presents future map of Ukraine. Think tank advises U.S. how to avoid war with Russia. I don't think their goal is to avoid war. Kiev threatens to attack Russian territory. German mayors want Nord Stream 2 opened. And that's it. Those would be the headlines. Actually got done pretty quick tonight. I think I'm going to take advantage of that and relax for a bit. Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy, 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 crazy. Just like I say, keep an eye on things, but don't flip out. Just make sure you're ready to go. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.